I don't think it's an unpopular opinion to say that Call of Duty the last couple of years has been probably some of the worst, probably the worst Call of Duty has ever been. Cold War personally being my least favorite Call of Duty ever. I absolutely hated that Call of Duty. Vanguard came out. I actually think the core mechanics of the game were pretty good. The hit reg was amazing in that game. It was almost instant. Movement was completely fine. The guns felt pretty good. It was mostly just the balancing and the fact that it was really, really boring. And of course, now we are on to MW2 and Warzone 2, which is almost taking the cake for being just one of the most pathetic releases I've seen from Call of Duty. And this is finally one of the first years, apart from Vanguard, where we're actually seeing lower player numbers for Call of Duty. I'm not sure if console numbers are completely accurate or even public to everybody, but Steam numbers are, because the game is back on Steam, and the Steam numbers for Warzone 2 and MW2 are horrible. The game originally peaked at, I think, like 500k players on Steam, and then I think like right before this season 2 update, it was dropping down to as low as 50k, which when you compare it to other games like Apex Legends just beat its all-time highest player count on Steam. Actually, the same thing just happened with Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike also just beat its all-time highest player count on Steam, whereas Call of Duty is just slowly bleeding and dying. And I personally think one of the biggest reasons for this is, like I said, the games are so slow, simple. They just have absolutely zero mechanics to learn and get better at, that they're just boring, and people play them for, you know, a week or two and then pretty much never play them again. Whereas games like Black Ops 3, for example, with the jetpacks, even though it was very either or if you liked them or absolutely hated them, and I know a lot of people still really don't like the jetpacks and never want Call of Duty to go back to them, I still think it was way more fun than we have now. Like, if they're gonna keep all of the shitty stuff in the current Call of Duties that I really don't like, I'd at least like the game to have a little bit more of a skill gap and have some kind of movement to learn in the game. I mean, I think that's one of the main reasons Apex Legends has stayed as popular as it has, because there is new movement tech coming out for that game like every month. And not to mention, the game overall is just way more fun. The gunplay is absolutely amazing in that game, and Call of Duty gunplay is still okay, but they've done so many things to make it worse over the years. Like, for example, the visual recoil in MW2 is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the fact that you fire a gun and you can't see what the hell you're shooting at is just the stupidest thing. And I think because they had the 3 jetpack Call of Duties, at the end, in my opinion, I thought Infinite Warfare actually had the best jetpack movement. I think it was such a good balance between Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare. And I think if they were to make another one, they can make it even better. I think if they added the ability to have more control over your character mid-air, kind of like you did Advanced Warfare, it could just open up so many more possibilities in the game. One thing that I see all the time regarding Warzone 2 and MW2 is the fact that the viewer count for the game is also pretty horrible. Twitch numbers are pretty bad, and YouTube numbers are horrible. YouTube is super bad for Warzone 2 and MW2 because mostly everybody's POV looks very similar. And this mostly just has to do with the fact that the game is so simple and there's not really any mechanics for people to learn to stand out like there is in Apex. It's just really hard to see improvement in a game like MW2 and Warzone 2, and all of this just added together makes you not want to play it for a very long time, which is fucking hilarious considering Call of Duty is pretty much only meant to keep player retention. That's like their whole thing, is player retention, to, you know, sell microtransactions and their skin bundles and all that shit. But they've changed it so much to try and advertise to the biggest audience possible that I think it's actually doing more bad than it is good for the game in the long run. I don't think we necessarily need to go back to like Advanced Warfare jetpacks. I mean, I'd be totally down. I think now that I've been playing so many other FPS games, I'd probably like Advanced Warfare jetpacks quite a bit more than I did when it initially came out years ago. but I still think the majority of Call of Duty players probably wouldn't like Advanced Warfare jetpacks. I think they're still just a little too fast for the vast majority of the casual players that play COD still. But just give me something new and exciting. It sucks because nobody in the FPS genre is really taking any chances anymore, except for maybe some indie games. But AAA FPS development has just been so boring recently. And like I said, it seems like people are really starting to get bored of Call of Duty, considering how low their player numbers are falling, and considering pretty much every other FPS game that's actually good, like Apex and Counter-Strike, are going up in players. I think most, obviously not all of the Call of Duty players are what is boosting those numbers, but I think a lot of them are Call of Duty players that are just sick and tired of the game being boring and dog shit, and they're moving over to other stuff. I mean, it's almost laughable how Call of Duty gets unironically praised for adding shipment into the game for like the 10th fucking time in a row. Like, they're actually just remaking content now and still getting praised for it because everybody's expectations are so unbelievably low for this franchise now. I'm sure Call of Duty still has data for games like Black Ops 3, and I feel like there's almost no way that Black Ops 3's player retention was lower than like the last 3 Call of Duties. I mean, that game, the viewership was unreal for it for the longest time. And even though that game wasn't crossplay, PC was alive for so long. Like, the game just had so much more depth to it, and you could literally just watch somebody's gameplay with no face cam or anything, and you could almost instantly tell who was playing. You could see your improvements in your gameplay like in real time. It was just so much more fun and so much more motivating to continuously play the game. And even though it was definitely, like I said, either or with whether or not you like jetpacks in Call of Duty, I still think Black Ops 3 was like one of the most popular paid Call of Duties ever. Obviously, Warzone 1 and Warzone 2 probably beat it in like all-time player numbers, but those games are free to play. And I bet if they were to release their data, Black Ops 3 probably had some of the best player retention in all of the Call of Duties. I don't know, it's just really frustrating to see the path that Call of Duty is taking now, especially now that seems the rumors that MW2 and Warzone 2 being a 2-year game were completely wrong. It's not really surprising. There's pretty much no way Call of Duty's not going to take the chance to get that big bag of cash every single year. So it seems that, I guess, Sledgehammer is making another Call of Duty this year. Is it going to be a jetpack Call of Duty? Almost definitely not, which really sucks because it's probably just going to be another dull, boring game from Sledgehammer. I just wish they would take more chances. They've shown that, yeah, sometimes Call of Duty takes chances and they're really stupid and they're really bad decisions, but then sometimes they're amazing. Like, you know, MW Ground War was unbelievable. It's literally like some of the most fun I've ever had in an FPS game, honestly. And then, of course, Jetpack Call of Duties is really what kickstarted my channel and a lot of other channels and really just made Call of Duty really fun again. But unfortunately, I think Call of Duty has finally realized they don't really have to do much of anything different, and they still make billions and billions of dollars every single year, so why take the chance? I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you want jetpacks to come back? I already asked a couple people about this, and I think it was like 3 out of 4 actually said they didn't want jetpacks to come back, which was pretty surprising to me. I get that bringing jetpacks back isn't magically gonna make Call of Duty better again, but I do think it'd make it more interesting and fun than what we're getting now. Anyways, that's all I really wanted to rant about. I'm curious to see what you guys say in the comments. I'm also gonna make some polls on Twitter to see what people say on there about whether or not they want jetpacks back or not. Yeah, if you guys aren't already, go ahead and follow my live stream, twitch.tv/NateGibson, follow my Twitter, Discord, TikTok, all of that garbage. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you have an amazing rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later.